Hey, you guys, good morning or good afternoon or what? It's afternoon already.
I know.
Yeah. It's Friday afternoon and Julien Lepage has come to visit. Where are you from?
I'm actually originally from Saskatchewan,
Really?
a small farming community half an hour east of Saskatoon called Saint Denis. So,
It's a little French community?
yeah, grew up on the farm there. My parents are still there. There was about 9 houses in the actual town, a church,
Of course.
and a community hall.
Catholic church.
Yep.
Yeah.
Darn right, French Catholic boys. So I got 4 brothers.
Yeah.
So 5 boys on the farm. And
I'm from a predominantly French town called Moncton
oh yeah,
in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And New Brunswick's the only officially bilingual province
it sure is.
in our country. So I grew up in Moncton and sure like the French girls.
You can't complain. I mean, yeah, I tell you.
Moncton was funny because we had this kind of New York, East Coast, but also Montreal influence, and so for a small town or a small city, it had quite a bit of culture.
Lots of great music
Yes.
in that area, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Do you get back out there
yeah.
sometimes?
I haven't for a while because I go to Bali.
Oh, well, there you go.
And
You gotta bring all this goodness to everyone else, right?
like twice a year to Bali.
Wow.
It makes it difficult to
Yeah.
go east.
And it's almost more expensive to travel to
Honestly.
Moncton than
Yeah.
it would be to go.
I had a friend the other day, Nick. Nick flew to Bali for under $900 return.
Unreal.
Yeah, it costs you that to fly to Moncton.
It does. Why don't we promote our own back door, our own backyard?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the Asian airlines have, some of them are a little subsidized as well, so it makes it cheaper to fly into Asia, and they really want, to stimulate the tourist traffic and all that kind of stuff. And so their costs, I think, are down from what it costs to operate here. But anyway, I don't know why we went there. So tell us, you came out here from Saskatchewan.
About 10 years ago, I got married to my beautiful wife, Danielle, and her family predominantly lived in Calgary area, and we knew that we wanted to have kids. We were pretty young at that time, so we moved out here, and I thought before moving, and here is Calgary, for some people that are listening from elsewhere, Calgary, Alberta, and so for me, I had this preconceived notion that Calgary was a bunch of rednecks, and I was a little nervous moving here because I had dreadlocks at the time, and
Really?
I was playing in bands, and I was kind of a,
He's
I
got
like
great hair, doesn't he?
I like to go against the grain,
Yeah.
and I felt my exposure to Calgary was very much like conforming and things like that. But then when I moved here, it really changed. It really opened up my eyes. So about 10 years, almost.
Well, it was. I came here a long time ago, like 40 years ago, and it was like that. It was, shotguns in the back window of the truck, but that's Saskatchewan too.
Not as pronounced,
Yeah.
and maybe I grew up sheltered because I was in the francophone community,
Yes.
and the musician community as well. And so the people that I hung around with,
All fiddle players.
no, rock and roll. I played in some pretty heavy music, and then funk as well, and some reggae as well. So more love, even though it's heavy music, it's still, you can still talk about love.
Yes. All right. So
Yeah.
the francophone fiddle players before your time.
Perhaps, yeah. I think they stayed out east.
Yeah.
There was definitely some fiddle players around, but that was never in my
Yeah.
surroundings.
So did you have a garage band?
Yes, actually, so my grandparents lived in the same yard as us, and when they were too old to stay in the home on the farm, they moved out and we took over their house, and it was a jam house.
Wow.
And we had our beer fridge,
Of course.
and lots of couches and lots
Yeah.
of parties kind of in the back of on the farm, and
Oh, great.
it was awesome.
And your parents were happy because they could keep an eye on you.
That's right.
They're right over there.
As long as there was noise, they had nothing to worry about. When the noise stopped, that's when they started getting
Yeah.
worried.
Do you hear that?
No.
It's quiet.
Let's go check on them.
Something going on over there. Right
Yeah.
on. So you love music?
Music is my passion. Music is my medicine. Music has helped me to find myself, but also to connect with other people. And before I found music, it was kind of a pretty dark place, young years. And so adolescence for me was a challenge, even before adolescence, like, from 9 all the way up to like 12, 13 years old, when you don't really know who you are or what you're doing or anything around you, and you're kind of, lost in that family unit. I was number 4 out of 5. You don't really know. And so music gave me an identity, but also it helped me formulate my own identity.
I was 4 out of 5 too.
I was number 4.
And then 4 out of 5, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Do you have brothers?
4 brothers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All boys. How about you?
I have 1 sister, 4 boys and 1 sister.
And your sister is the?
She's number 3.
3, right before you.
Yes.
She kept you in order.
Somewhat, yes. Somewhat. She did, yeah, somewhat. It just seems like yesterday, but anyway, that's an old guy's story.
That's what we're here for.
For your story.
No, well.
For your story. So you came here 10 years ago, and you got a degree in?
Social work. So I'm a social worker by trade. I was playing in bands and doing lots of stuff. I've recorded 9 studio albums and in French and in English. And, but I knew always in my heart that I didn't want to be, or I couldn't really be a rock star and have a family. Family was really important for me. Being a father, and so I chose social work because I knew that expressive therapies was a thing. So I knew personally, I had a personal encounter of the healing power of music, and so I knew that social work was broad enough that I could probably incorporate it. I tried to do a music therapy degree, and I failed the theory test so bad. I rocked the performance piece though. I was really good, and they were I got a good amount of feedback, but the theory piece I had to walk out because I had 0 musical teaching.
Yeah. Okay, so and what are you doing in social work? You got
so
the front line?
Front line, well, I would say so. Right now, I'm currently working with a health organization in Alberta. It's called Alberta Health Services. And for the last probably 10 years as well, I've been specializing in addictions and mental health. So I've worked a lot with adults with mental illness, so depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, personality disorders.
That's my crew.
That's everybody's crew. I think.
I tell because I work in that field. I mean, I've been in recovery many years, and all of those are. I tell my sponsees are symptoms of alcoholism.
Darn right, or symptoms of just the human condition, and just like trying to figure ourselves out.
Most of my recovering alcoholics can go out and get a diagnosis if they want,
of course,
like that, and I caution them, that sometimes if they go get a diagnosis and they find a kind doctor who really doesn't understand the disease of alcoholism, and he gives them drugs to deal with their anxiety, then they don't get a chance to go through it.
Yeah.
They miss it, and they don't recover.
I think we're always too quick to jump to medication, or everyone's looking for that quick fix.
Well, because when you're in a formal situation or like a professional situation, it's hard to talk to them about a spiritual recovery.
Yeah.
Because it's not in your, even though
it's not in a manual.
Yeah, you know about this personally, but it's not something that you can, really. Well, you send them to me now.
I'll send them to you, my friend. Yeah, you'll get so many sponsees, you won't even know what to do with yourself.
Well, I hand them off. I have lots.
Oh, that's good.
I have a crew, and
you got your whole community.
Yeah.
How many communities do you carry? So you've got your community here at Bali and beyond. You're doing all sorts of dance stuff and meditation stuff, and then you've got your.
I've been really blessed to be involved in a number of communities, and to cross over. And yes.
There's a lot of crossover. Like when you said that's my crew, I truly believe that, regardless if you're a PhD psychologist or a physician or a lawyer or somebody who's struggling with homelessness or whatever, everybody gets acquainted with low mood, depression. Some might call it depression, anxiety, fear, right? And then those more complicated, personality disorders or psychotic disorders or things like that, it doesn't need to identify you. There's always the person is always the person, and the diagnosis is only a symptom of.
It's funny that how quick we want to identify ourselves with something, and so for many years I had a tile store, so I was David the tile guy, and then I became David the Bali guy, and people just do that. They identify you. And I've been involved with men's work for many years, and which is separate from my 12-step work. It's and so in that, so we do. Our minds are quick to attach labels.
Totally.
And of course, the trouble with labels is we hold people in that place.
It's exactly your story. When they go to the physician, the psychiatrist, they can get a diagnosis, but all of a sudden that's a limiting thing, because all of a sudden you're saying, oh, it's because I'm depressed, or it's because I have anxiety. And I think we need to find alternate ways to say, I'm just a human going through the human condition, which is hardship, loss, fear, love, growth, passion, inspiration. Yeah. So we can, as much as we're a result of our own environment, we're also capable of just acknowledging that, this is part of life.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice. Back to music is my medicine. Nico Bear, is a friend of mine that has a
like medicine for the people.
Yes, yeah.
That's your friend?
Yes.
Can you bring him in town?
I've been trying for like 5 years, 6 years, saying come to Calgary.
What?
Really. So
we've got a community here. Let's get him to Calgary.
He's playing in Montana this summer, and I think I'm going to go down. But I spent time with him in Bali, and we got to hang out a bit. And
pretty cool guy.
Talk about this stuff. Yeah. Talk about life and recovery and making a difference and carrying a message. And
has he sat here and did an interview? You should do one.
Oh, well,
or maybe go to him and do one.
Yes, yeah. That would be awesome.
I would watch that for sure, hands down. I want to know that guy.
Yeah,
he's got a story.
So medicine for the people, and music is his medicine, and so what you're doing with the drumming, which we're coming to is healing, right? And so they get to come and be with you on a Friday night, and have this big healing session.
Yeah.
Then hopefully they drum at home.
Yeah, totally.
And and kind of music and vibration of sound, is like sound and light are healing.
Yeah, totally. I actually also think, so I don't know, for the people who don't know what drumming does, so I'm an integrated community drum circle facilitator. And
isn't that fancy?
It's a fancy word. We want it to be like almost like AC/DC, but it's ICDC,
Integrated. Say it again.
Yeah. Integrated community drum circle facilitator. So,
wow.
Because it integrates, drumming from all different cultures, different backgrounds. So not just native drumming, not just like First Nations Indigenous drumming, not just African drumming, not just Latino style or Asian. It brings all those components together to create a reflection of what we see every day, outside our doors. And also it's an acknowledgement of all of those knowledge, traditions, wisdoms, backgrounds, because there's so much specificity in each of those cultures that can help people identify with something greater than themselves and their culture and traditions and spirituality. But at the same time, it acknowledges that, but then it just goes back to what's most important in so Judy Atkinson, Judy, who was the founder of Circles of Rhythm, is the most important, I guess the ultimate law, which is love, and it connects all religions, it connects all beliefs, it connects all morals. If you stem things right back into love and connection with self and with the universe or each other, amazing things can happen. So we use drumming as a way to help people quiet down the monkey brain, because I don't know about you, but for me, there's a lot of thoughts going on in my head a lot of times. And drumming and music, specifically actively drumming, so it's like an active meditation for me. It's like it's a way for me to quiet down the monkey brain and to actually be present in the moment, which is actually pretty hard for me to do. And so we offer space for people who, it's aligned with your vision, to bring, to help heal the world through meditation, which is phenomenal, and you can talk about the benefits of meditation, but for me, I've never been able to yet achieve that state of sitting and just being able to just meditate. I get small pockets, and as over time I know that it gets better, but my meditation is an active meditation. And we use drumming as a tool specifically to get to that point.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and I love drumming. I love singing. I love music, and I've been to Circles of Rhythm.
Yeah, for sure.
When Judy was there, I'll come again.
You better, yeah.
What time does it?
Every Friday night in Calgary, between 7 to 9.
Wow.
And you can drop in. You can come for the first little bit and then go and have a night out with some friends or whatever. There's no. It's not like you're interrupting the flow. It's such an organic co-creation. Like it's just every single person. I truly believe that every single person that shows up makes a difference in the sound that we create.
I was with you at WUB.
Yeah, WUB gathering.
WUB, because we WUB everybody.
We WUB it so much, but I WUB Paul
a lot.
The most.
Yeah, he's amazing. Hey, Paul. We WUB you. And I saw what you did there. You really led. You got us going. And do you do that on Friday nights?
Yeah, totally. So it is a facilitated thing. So a lot of people would think of a drumming circle as like, on the beach, which is great, or like the Tam Tam in Montreal, and it's just a very organic thing, which is great. That in itself will get you to that place of quieting your mind and just being present, mindful in the moment. However, for me, or Judy Atkinson, or maybe even Arthur Hall with the Village Music Circles, or Babatunde, those drum circle gurus have seen that not a lot of people will be willing or prepared to get to the point where they can fully surrender their ego, fully surrender their judgment of self and each other. And so the facilitator is simply there to help nudge the process along, to help people deepen that connection with self. And
You're the guide.
It's
a guide. You're a tour guide.
Yeah, totally. A tour guide. Some people would say, "Oh, the drum teacher." We're not teachers.
No.
If we get into that
Take them on a journey.
Darn right. Yeah, and we're along for the ride.
Yeah.
I often say,
so you don't know where the journey's going?
I have no idea. A lot of people will come and they're like, "Wow, that was amazing. I love how the way you lead us." And I'm like, I'm merely a reflection of what is in the room.
Oh, nice.
I'm a mirror to highlight back the joy and the celebration.
So you have to stay tuned in.
Oh man, that's rule number one.
Yeah.
Is to have your 3-point radar. So it's watching, listening, and feeling.
Feeling, yeah.
And so some people don't have that last little one. I think that's what makes a master integrative community drum circle facilitator. And so we mentor people, we teach people how to do this and stuff like that too.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna come.
I
love to drum. I love community. So, and community happens there.
You should bring some stools. We'll tell them about your vision. We'll talk to our crew. We get over like 100 people every Friday.
Yeah.
Easy.
You're talking about my meditation stools.
Yeah,
so we can drum into meditation as we're sitting on the meditation stools.
Totally. And we can tell people about your vision, and we can clean out your store.
Yeah.
So you can move on to bigger things.
I've just ordered another 4,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of faith involved.
A lot of faith.
But because it takes quite a while, they have to go and find the wood. It's all recycled teak, so they have to get the wood together. And then, even though it's recycled teak, I've got them kiln drying it as well. So it goes into the kiln a bit and comes back out, and then it's ready. And these are like the wood on the top of this. I know you got me started on this.
I'm all for it.
The wood on the top of this,
great.
they're actually 2x4s. So they fuse them together, and then they take a grinder or a
sander.
A plane, electric plane.
Okay, yeah.
And there's sawdust flying everywhere, and they do this by hand.
Here's a question: have you built one yourself yet?
No.
Oh.
No. But I designed them.
Well, that's good.
And I'm there when they do it. But
it's a nice design.
Yeah, I have not been on the tools, but that's not entirely true. Sometimes a few of them come in and they're not really ready. We didn't do a lot of QC.
Sure.
Over there, quality control, and so the quality control's in the back. When I unpack a few of them, I'm like, holy shit, who
put that one?
So I'm repairing them back here some. So
That's good.
So
you do.
I do love the tools. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, because I'm working on those tables and all that stuff I have back here. You know, we're gonna get out of the retail side.
I know.
And
Moving
go
online.
more online, but I also want to go and do like events.
Yeah.
And where I can bring and lead meditations in group and that kind of stuff.
And people can walk away with a kit. You know, I think that's the biggest thing, is that we want to equip people with tools that they can use every single day. You know, and
you know, I've sold hundreds and hundreds of drums.
I know. Well, you got some right here, and I was playing a gong and some singing bowls. By the way, we're going to talk about that. I want a gong.
Yeah, you need a gong.
I need a gong.
You got to gong this thing in. Boom.
Right? I already did.
Yeah.
That's why I feel so zen right now.
You're so full of it.
I'm hopped up on coffee right now.
That's why I like you.
Kylie Dawn says hi.
Hey, Kylie, we love you. And you know that, though, right? And Kylie was here a while ago and we did an interview, and we've known each other for since before you were married.
There you go. Yeah.
A long time. I wanted to ask you, you have 3 kids?
Yeah, I got 3 little ones.
And
Twins, actually. I started off with twins.
oh my gosh.
They're 7 years old.
Boy and a girl?
Boy and a girl. How'd you know? You're just that guy, hey? That's good. And
It
my
was a 50-50 chance. No, actually it could have been a girl and a girl, a boy and a boy.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not very good at math. I'm not, anyways.
I have a calculator.
And then my youngest is a daughter, so 4.5.
Wow.
And 7, yeah. So.
Wow, that's great. And twins are a handful.
Don't talk to me about that. Talk to my partner about that. She gets the brunt of it.
I'd love to meet her.
She's amazing.
Yes.
She's a doula, yoga teacher. She's working in labor and delivery. She takes care of this guy. I mean, that's a thing in itself.
So I was going to say. So she has 4 kids.
Yeah, darn right.
Don't own that.
Seriously.
Don't own that.
Oh yeah, we're all kids though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You know, and
I mean, there's a difference between having the childlike fantasy of the world. I mean, being excited.
Yeah.
You know, the joy,
Yeah.
childlike joy, and which I think is amazing, and I don't ever want to lose. You know, that oh my gosh,
Wow,
and the
look at the
excitement about
sunshine.
what's happening, and the other
being like, take care of me, mom.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that kind of kid. I'm like, don't tell me what to do.
I want my way.
Right.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's fun. A lot of fun, a lot of energy, though. You're absolutely right, and you know, I'm grateful for the family, but it is a challenging season right now, and I know that there's a lot of parents out there, you know, or families or new mothers or whatever that are just really, you know, struggling to find that balance. And myself included, and patience too is another thing that I'm working on, is just to find that balance between how much of me do I need to commit in all these different areas, because like I said, so I'm working full-time with, you know, a health job. I own this business, this Circles of Rhythm thing, and I'm trying to grow it and develop into...
So you're not trying to grow it?
I'm growing it. Yeah, oh yeah, it's happening.
Because you could be full-time in that.
Darn right.
Into offices at lunchtime and doing drum circles. And
yeah, for sure. And we are. You know, and I have an amazing staff as well. So it's not just me. I have...
We can all go to the DI.
Darn right.
Drum at the DI.
Let's do it. Yeah. Honestly, so this summer, I don't know.
You know what the DI is.
The drop-in center. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's
not everybody would know.
Huge facility where you know, everyone there is struggling with homelessness, right, and addiction and who knows what. This summer, I want to try and do pop-up drum circles.
Nice.
And so it's just pretty much anywhere in the city. We're just going to blast an email or message to people, let people know in advance of where we're going to show up and do drum circles.
Yeah.
Right?
Go in the drum circle.
You should come.
I'll roll in my Harley.
We should do it. Yeah, roll in your Harley.
I do have a Harley.
You do, eh?
Of course, yeah. You'll like it.
Let's fill it up with meditation stools.
They go together, eh? Hand in hand.
Apparently, as long as you smudge before you go in and out of the Harley, you're good to go.
So I think I also had 3 kids, and
Yeah.
but actually it was different because I was with 2 beautiful ladies and spread out a bit. But you got your hands full.
Yeah.
So you're working full-time job. You've got Circles of Rhythm, and you're being a dad.
And being a dad, and I'm also a landlord, but we don't talk about that.
And you have tenants, and you do some landlord stuff, and every once in a while your wife might want to go on a date.
That's the biggest challenge right now, is just to be able to make sure that I feed all the hearts in my family and that are around me in a way where they deserve to be fed.
Does she come to Drum Circle sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. She helps a lot behind the scenes. She does admin stuff for Circles of Rhythm and makes sure that my ideas are well thought out before we execute them. And
she keeps you out of trouble.
Trouble finds me.
Yeah.
So someone's got to do it.
Yeah, nice. What's her name again?
Her name is Danielle.
Danielle. Is she from hometown?
She was born in Calgary.
Yeah.
She moved around a little bit. She lived in Phoenix, and then we lived together in Saskatoon.
Oh, you met her in Saskatoon?
We actually met. Do you want to know my full story?
Yeah.
Well, I'll do it. Cole's Notes. We met when we were probably 13 years old. Her grandparents actually lived in one of those 9 houses in Saint Denis.
Oh my gosh.
And she was visiting her grandparents, coming back from Arizona to move back with her dad. And her grandparents apparently tried to get her hooked up with some French boys, because in that one trip she went to 3 of my buddies' houses.
Yeah.
And I'm the lucky one that she chose.
Oh my gosh.
She roped me in. So we were writing letters and stuff like that at the age of 14, calling on the phone. And, we were seeing other people, but we were pretty close. A lot of deep conversations at a really young age. And I think I have, that's a full story. I could write a book about that. And then we took time apart, and then, I came and surprised her at her 19th birthday in Calgary. And I said, "What the hell are you doing with all these rednecks at the Roadhouse?" She was a Jack Daniels girl. And I shook her. I said, "None of your friends are real." and she didn't like that.
I'm sure she did. She said, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, I almost got kicked out by the bouncer. It was because I showed up, skinny dude with dreadlocks, being like, "Come on, man, let me in. I'm on the guest list." He's like, "There's no way you're on the guest list," but I was.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then a couple days went by, and she turned around and she said, "You know what? You're right. It's not that her friends weren't real, but it was just a very at that time and age, when you're drinking and when you're just partying and, there's gossip and, things that are happening where people are not in their hearts, they're just in it, I don't know why, but they're just trying to sort themselves out, and it's a scary place. And for me, not that I was all high and mighty, I was doing my own thing, but I was definitely more in tune with, I don't know, just trying to be authentic. I think that's something that I've carried my most of my life, is just trying to make real connections with people.
So be present.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can only do that if we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, by the way.
You're welcome.
This is really cool.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
It's really good to get to know you better.
Yeah.
And
Ditto.
Hear your story. And so that was it. She said yes.
She said, "You're saying yes." She came back. So she moved back to, it was a crazy story. She got her practicum in Saskatoon, and so she moved to Saskatoon, and then we started dating right away. I was dating another girl at the time, and she said, "No, you're not dating." So then I shifted, and here we are.
Wow. Well, that's a great story.
There's lots to it, for sure.
I know. Life goes on. That's good. Well, I think you're doing some really good stuff.
Thanks.
When you're with Alberta Health Services, are you in a facility? Are you downtown?
So Schumer, I just moved to the Sheldon Schumer downtown, and a lot of the work that I do is kind of with early client engagement, and a lot of people are like, "Well, don't you miss that clinical piece or whatever?" And For me, I just say, like, I'm not a healthcare professional or clinician. I'm just a professional human being. I just want to have conversations with people.
Early client engagement. Tell us about that.
Well, so early client engagement would be pretty much somebody is being referred to the program by themselves or somebody else, and I tell them about it. I'm like, are you prepared? Like, so I'm looking at helping people address, addictions, which is an addiction issue is something that you can't really tell somebody to sort themselves out. They have to show up. And that's actually the case for even mental health things like depression, anxiety. A lot of people are kind of a victim, but you need to show up as a participant in your own treatment. And the Western medicine model tells us that the doctor is going to give you pills, the doctor is going to give you the treatment, and you're going to just say yes, 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 and then things are going to get better. But mental health and addiction specifically, you need to show up more than everyone else.
The same thing.
Oh, if you don't show up, you're not going to get anything done. I think it's the most important. So that early client engagement was just to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're seeing. This is what people are saying. What do you think about that? What's going on for you? What do you want? Are you ready to do this? This is what we can offer you. Is this the right time?
It's funny because when I sobered up, I didn't really want to sober up. I just wanted to get the heat off. I just wanted to, I was married 6 months. We had a daughter. She was 6 months old. She came 3 weeks after we got married. That first one can come anytime.
Wow.
and I wasn't really a catch.
Come on. At that time, maybe.
No, I didn't consider it myself. I of course I considered myself a catch at the time, but when in retrospect, no. And but no, and so when people are in early recovery, often they don't really want to quit whatever they're doing substance-wise. They just want, the pain to go away.
Yeah.
And I look at drugs and alcohol as actually pain management.
Hell yeah,
it's
for sure.
Medicinal.
For sure, people are trying to manage that low mood, the sense of loneliness, the sense of, fear, or whatever, through substances.
Empty.
For sure. Yeah, they want to fill themselves up. They feel like they can be more themselves with substances, but it's just like, actually, guess what?
So when in our model of recovery, there's a spiritual. It's a spiritual
Darn
recovery,
right.
and I tell new guys, I say, look, we're all spiritual beings, and they'll say, yeah, they'll no matter what, they'll say, yeah.
Really?
And yeah.
There's no naysayers?
No, they'll say, yeah, we're spiritual beings. So, would you imagine that there's a spiritual side of something? Everybody will say,
cool.
Yeah, yes, there's something, yes,
Wow.
And I explain to them that we've somehow gotten disconnected, and we're trying to fill that spiritual hole, and especially when I get them back in that room. In that room, yeah.
That's a magical room.
And can I tell you?
Please.
What I do, and you can use this if you like.
I would love to.
So in my 12-step program, there's a part of it that requires that we find a higher power, or that we at least acknowledge the existence of a higher power. And it's a stumbling block for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They may see themselves as spiritual beings, but there's no fucking higher power.
There's no way. I'm the boss.
I'm it. Yeah, I'm it. And yes, maybe I got disconnected a bit, but I got this. Just,
right.
Get me a new house to live in.
Right.
And
Right.
I need a car, some clothes, and a girlfriend.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
And
that's not what you do?
no. So I say to a lot of them, because they're trying to connect with a higher power, and they've dealt with the religious thing. Let's say, maybe they were Catholics from a small town in Saskatchewan, and they said, then they put their idea of God, which for many of us was a very limiting idea that was given to us as children.
Yep.
And it was more of a management tool, behavior modification tool, than it was any real spiritual connection. And
at that time, for sure.
Yeah, and we said, well, fuck that. That's bullshit. And we put that on the shelf, and said, I'll get back to you maybe. And then we went off on our lives. And so now I'm meeting them. They're in their 30s or 40s, and they've said, no, if there's a God, he's not done anything for me, and I'm not interested in that, and that's bullshit, and I've tried that, and I can't, whatever. So I'll say to them, because we're looking for a connection with a higher power, I'll say, do you believe in love? And it doesn't really matter how far down the scale they've gone, they'll say yes.
Darn right. That's so good.
And they'll even usually come with an example. Yeah, I love my dog, you know, or, you know, I got kids, you know, I haven't seen them in 3 years, but I love them, you know, and those kind of things. And Mom, I'm pretty sure my mom loves me. And so yes, they'll
They can find some
example of love in their life, and I'll ask them, would you consider love to be a power greater than you?
Boom.
And it's like,
Their whole perspective shifts.
Yeah, the light comes on, and they go, "Oh, you bastards."
You ruined it for me. Now I can't go back. And that's exactly it, though. I think it's just once people pull back the curtain, you know, and see what's behind the curtain. You can't unsee.
Can't unsee. You know, we've ruined their drinking.
And it's good, you know, like, because all of a sudden, I think the search for more love and like an acquaintance to that force, that's a divine force, I think, is so much better than any kind of substance.
Years and years and years ago, I was sitting in a church basement doing a big book study. And on the wall, I was like really new in sobriety. On the wall, there was a little sign. They have these little signs, and a little sign that said, "God is love." And I was like, and so that helped me with my connection in those days. And
it takes a while, though, to get to that point where you can actually
integrate and
believe it,
and be able to communicate, and develop a conscious contact, you know, with what we sometimes call intuition, or you know, but and then come to rely on it, and work within
follow it.
And turn our lives into service, like you have done with yours. You know, service is the key. It's
darn right.
And if we're not giving back, then we're taking. And generally, with the addict and the alcoholic, we're very selfish.
Take.
Yeah. And
just to fill what is empty inside of us, but it'll never. The more you take, it'll never fill it up. I think when you are acting out of service, the more you give, the more full you are.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
I have a saying. I say, "You gave and gave and gave until you got it all."
Come on. It's so good. And I think also on the flip side, there's this need of being willing. I was reading one of your little books. It's a children's book, and there's the first little bit is about, you know, it's about this little, you know, dragonfly that's not willing to receive the support. So there's, on the flip side, we need to be able to be willing to receive the love around us.
And
right?
Sometimes it's a guy like you who loves a guy, some guy who's making his first contact, and he sees that he can trust you, and that you're going to show up, and that opens the door of willingness.
Yeah.
You know, so having you on the front line, meeting those people is crucial.
Yeah, for sure.
And because it's the connection that makes it happen. It's not the list of services.
No.
You know,
it's not the resources. It's just like saying, hey, like, I'm a human being. I care about you. I see you.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give it a shot?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think, you know, people want to be seen. They need to be seen. And you think of social media and you think of all that. And, you know, I think there's a lot of positive sides to social media in terms of people wanting to just kind of represent the best selves, their best selves, which is really cool. But then it also feeds that need to be seen, but in a way where sometimes it misses that authenticity, right? And so if you can have that authentic connection with somebody else, this is why I like drumming. Not to go back to drumming, but this is why I like drumming, is because you cannot be someone else when you're drumming.
Oh.
You know, if you're going on
gotta be you.
If you want to go on a first date and learn the most about your partner in that time, bring them to a drum circle, and you'll see who they really are. Are they going to just sit back and just kind of watch and just like not really participate, or are they going to be all in and just loving it and just making a fool out of themselves but loving life, or are they just going to be more reserved and quietly and just making sure that they follow the rules, or are they gonna, you know, like just really get into a space of just stillness, and it actually doesn't even matter what you're doing. They're taking care of themselves. Wow. And you can learn a lot about a person like that. And I like to believe that the drum is like the beautiful equalizer. It just takes away all, everything that separates us, and it brings us in that common ground. The reason is because the drum represents the heartbeat, right? And everyone, right? Exactly. Well, that's what drumming is. It from if you look at all the history books, people created the drum because they wanted to mimic that heartbeat. They wanted to bring some sort of way to connect themselves with each other. And it was before any kind of language came around. Rhythm came first, and then music, and then language. And so, and I like to think, and the research supports it, is that it kind of brings you back to that place of stillness when you were in your mother's womb, right? And so when you're in that immersive experience where everyone's drumming together, you are brought back to that memory, even if you're not conscious of it. Your DNA knows right away.
I've drummed in the sweat. So when the door's down and it's dark and dark and hot, and you're drumming in the sweat, that's it really,
powerful.
Yes,
you're literally in the womb.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
It's
cool.
Really cool. So, so you're spreading love.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You
told me earlier that your cup is sometimes too full.
Yeah.
And you need to
share
express.
I think so.
What happens when you give it all away? You don't.
It just never goes out. I think one of the things that
coming.
Well, it's true. Even if you feel depleted, this is the biggest thing for me. Is that this is what keeps me going. Is that even sometimes I do feel depleted because I'm doing so many things energy-wise, and I'll show up anyways. First step is to show up. 80% of success, just show up. I get through the doors, and then
that's the tip of the day,
right?
Yeah.
And then I show up to this drum circle, and all of a sudden, it's not me. I'm again back to that mirror. I'm a reflection of everyone else's energy, and I get filled up. I'm renewed. It's like all of a sudden I'm Mario, and I ate the mushroom, and I'm back to full force.
Mario and mushrooms,
just like Mario Brothers video games.
Oh, that's okay. You guys don't understand.
Not those kind of mushrooms.
But I love 80% of success is just showing up.
Yeah,
that's so good.
It's true.
That's in everything.
Darn right.
Wow.
You can't succeed if you don't show up.
If you're not there. Yeah.
And that's
Heck.
and
I can go home now today.
Right, darn right. Let's close the doors. We showed up.
We showed up.
Doesn't pay the bills. So,
Fun.
Good.
Well, do you have any events coming up or anything you want to talk about?
This summer is going to be amazing. I don't know if you've probably met with Ray from Sangha, the festival.
Oh yeah, I love Ray.
So
Ray was here. I remember when Ray came in. Hey Ray, because I'd never met Ray before, and Ray's got a striking look.
Oh, he's a handsome guy.
Well, I didn't think that. That was.
I'll say it.
That wasn't what I thought.
Yeah. No, he does. He's got this, and not just a look, but a vibe to him.
Yeah, and I'd never met him before, and he was sitting right here when and Kat was here with him, and they were talking, and I watched. It's really interesting that the mind can still judge. Mind, even though I've spent my whole life with street people and all kinds of situations, and like you said, I travel in all these circles, and my mind had a
judgment.
Yes, but the cool thing is that I can, when it happens, I can see
you
it,
can challenge it,
and I can say whatever, because it does have legs of its own, right?
Yeah, exactly. Our brain will do all sorts of crazy things, but what we don't know, or what we need to learn, is that we're in control. We got the wheel. We can turn it around. We can say thanks for that, but actually it's this.
So I came in and started chatting with Ray. Ray's really fucking amazing.
Pretty cool guy.
He is very cool, and he's doing great stuff.
Yeah, he really is.
Are you going to play at his...
So we're doing Sangha. We're doing lots of festivals. We're going all the way up to Fairview. We have festivals in BC. We have festivals around here.
So how do you get time off?
Oh, I take my vacation days. or I have, like I said, I have an amazing team of facilitators as well, so I can kind of decide, if it's worth me taking a day off to go out.
Or they can go set up and you can go Friday night. No,
I'm always there on the Friday nights as much as I possibly can. because I want to be part of it.
You take your family sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, kids
Yeah.
for sure love it, man.
I've got a big transit van. Have you seen my van?
Well,
You need a van
the
like
big
that.
white van?
Yeah.
With all the thousands of stools in it?
Yes.
That's,
oh, yeah,
that's,
right.
that's
Yeah,
when
you-
I saw
you
it.
have seen it, yeah.
I was loading in your van. I
Yeah.
was moving things in.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
In the
my
cold.
pleasure. Yeah, it was good. I don't mind at all. Yeah, so lots of festivals. The best way to stay on top of it is just to connect with us over social media.
So, Circles of Rhythm has a page.
Yeah,
you guys have a
Facebook.
website too?
Website, yeah, and Instagram. We do Twitter, but really, who does Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah, just politicians.
I guess so. It is. So I'm not a politician, but
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just at Circles of Rhythm. So CIRCLES of Rhythm. RHYTHM. Some people struggle with rhythm. I struggle
We
with
all
writing.
struggle with rhythm.
That's another story.
and not really, because again, it's a belief system.
No, fair enough.
My mom, bless her heart, said, to me, I remember as a kid, and it's just, she said, you couldn't carry a tune in a bag.
Oh.
I know.
That hurts.
I did, and I thought, well, fuck you, and I've been singing ever since.
Darn right, it's good for you. See, some people will have the other effect,
Yeah.
and they'll never sing a day in their life, and so
Sorry,
that's
Mom.
what. That's okay. Mom loves you anyways.
Mom does.
She
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that. I can see it in you.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Blessed for sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Thank God
and
for
you,
our mothers.
And I just got to clarify. I have no idea of the context that was said in. If I remember it being
course
said,
not.
and I don't have any, we remember things. We don't actually remember what happened.
She probably was right.
Yeah. she might have been. I was singing in church. Who knows?
You can't hold a tune. Just
But I don't even know that. And I've told that story and maybe made her seem like a bit of a villain. But it's
No.
what's interesting is that many of us carry things like that our whole lives.
Yeah.
And let's challenge our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think lots of people probably come to your drum circle with an idea, I can't drum.
exactly.
I've never even held one of these before.
Do a drum circle. So we do this in team building and stuff like that too. So for example, like a team of lawyers or engineers. That's the funniest actually. They're trying to calculate how the distance between each hand and the ratio, and they're looking at it like with their eyes crossed, and they're just trying to like they can't figure it out.
Engineers, we're trying to get them to use the other side of their brain.
Darn right.
And so you could actually cross over their hands, and that would
You
really
could. Actually, just by doing the right and the left, you don't need to cross over.
Yeah.
Just right and the left actually fires both sides of the brain. And that's why you can have experience two emotions, strong emotions at the same time, or two states of being. So you can be full of life, rejuvenated, joyful, yet grounded and still.
when you're drumming.
Yeah, or even after. And those benefits stay with you.
It seemed that drumming might be good for things like dementia. And
Music as medicine, like we touched on it a little bit, but there's lots of amazing documentaries out there if you want to look at that. But a lot of the documentaries about music and medicine, or music with dementia or Alzheimer's, that kind of stuff, they talk about listening to music. This is even better. This is like a dose of that medicine, but on steroids, because they're part of the band. And that was the biggest thing. That was kind of my buy-in into this whole Circles of Rhythm thing when I found Judy's. That the health benefits are just tenfold, because all of a sudden you're no longer just listening to the emotion and being part of the emotion. You're creating the emotion. You're actually expressing your emotion. You're exploring things that inside of you that you from years ago, stuff that was hung up inside of you that hasn't had a chance to be released.
so people, when they can move through, they can have
Darn right.
anger come out. They can
Wow,
have
powerful.
tears,
Always.
sadness.
Yes,
Really?
and then joy.
People cry at your thing.
Yeah, for sure. They cry like babies.
Nice.
Some.
Yeah.
And everything is welcome. All
Yeah.
emotions are welcome. And I think one of the biggest things, if you're a doubter, like just come and show up and just look at the diversity. So
Put you in the doubters line.
right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Please put your hand up if you're a doubter. No, you show up and there's all different nationalities, all different shapes and sizes, age, races, beliefs, levels of ability. So there's, everyone is there, and you'll never. I have yet to come across a setting that is so diverse and so inclusive and tolerant as well.
It equalizes.
It's the great equalizer, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
And people come to challenge some of those beliefs,
Yeah.
that happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's the job of the facilitator. Is that maybe the reason your boyfriend, who's there on your first date, is not drumming is because he's never was given the permission to drum or to move his body or to express himself. This is where we do this neural reprogramming, where we're we're reorganizing your brain in a way where you want it to be. You're not a.
So cool that you understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it could
important.
happen without you understanding it, but it's
a
that
conscious
you do
thing.
understand it. You can actually facilitate and help people.
That's what we do.
To push through.
Yeah.
And to freedom, to the other side.
Man,
Jim Morrison.
we are so trapped sometimes in just the way that we're just stuck doing the same thing, and we need to
Push
be
on
conscious.
through to the other side.
Darn right.
Yeah. you know the doors.
Yeah, darn right.
Okay.
Break on through.
Is break on through? Okay, yeah. Okay, push on through. But we could go push on through.
We should.
Let's rewrite that tune.
Let's redo it. We're happening. It's happening right now. I'm gonna go grab a drum. You can grab a gong.
It makes me think that I should bring more drums again. As part of, because what we're going to do is we're only going to bring stuff now that are that we can ship and that can be part of a meditation space. And I think a drum in a meditation space is a pretty good idea.
Totally. Yeah, why not? I love the singing bowls. You have those singing bowls there. A drum can be really good. For me, drumming by myself is good, but I get my real dose when I drum with other people.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
Some people might be able to just really get into it.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like it's like a channel, because it's that vibration, right? And so you got two opposing vibrations. You and I have two opposing vibrations. I think by having conversation and back and forth, that's rhythm. So you speak, I speak. You speak, I speak.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
So you're 31, 32. Going forward, what do you see for Julien the next, let's just say 10 years?
Sure. I see myself quitting my Alberta Health Services job.
It's okay, guys. He loves you still.
I do.
Yeah.
I see myself having a strong team of facilitators, not only in Calgary but across Canada. That's really, I see that, and I see Circles of Rhythm as a nonprofit organization, bringing drumming to the people who need it the most. So people who are struggling with homelessness, addictions, women's shelters, seniors facilities, schools, and bringing an awareness of this neural reprogramming, this heart connection of self and others, the connection to God or spirit, but also challenging some of those beliefs as well in terms of the things that separate us. Just bring people more into focusing on the things that unite us.
Nice.
So that's where I see it.
So that's your vision.
It's happening right now.
This
Summer,
yes.
I guess this is a big event. June 15th, we're doing our first fundraiser, and we're working towards registering as a charitable organization. And so that requires a lot of work, and I'm still behind the scenes working on that, and I need to restart that, but at the same time it's still happening. We're moving forward with that, and so, yeah.
Nice.
That's the first step. Because let's be honest, as you probably know, the people who could use it the most struggle financially.
Can't afford it, yeah. I was thinking, I do some work at the Alex.
Right.
And I'm part of a group of men who meet with the younger men. And a lot of the younger men are not used to having men around who don't want something. So we're there.
Yeah, it's always conditional.
We're there playing hockey with them and hanging out. And I had this vision of you showing up with a couple of facilitators and doing an hour drumming.
I'm into it.
And with these young fellas.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
We'll organize it. It would be a Tuesday night.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done. We'll do that.
It'll be awesome.
I'm pretty sure I can organize that.
Yeah.
And we'll fill the room with all these
Let's do it.
guys and drums. Okay. Awesome. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you want to do.
Yes, for sure. I think people need that experience. I don't know if you're feeling like we need to wrap up, but I think that a lot of times people don't have that awareness of connection with spirit, if you will. And I like to think that the drum is such a powerful tool that it actually helps kind of crack the egg or open up the heart a little bit so that they can let their own light within themselves shine through out, but also they're receiving the light of others, right? And they're like, what was that and how can I do that again?
Leonard Cohen, Ring the Bell.
So good.
It's where the cracks where the light gets in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have to crack. The heart needs to break a little bit in order for it to really truly be its strong self that it is.
Well, I'm glad you came today, and
I'm happy.
Thank you for what you're doing in community. And,
you're welcome.
You know, and I'm sure you're raising 3 amazing kids. I can't wait to meet them.
They're pretty rad.
Yeah.
They're pretty intense.
Of course.
They're like
half
me and half my wife, but we won't say that.
Yeah.
They get the intense from me.
I'm going to come and drum with you. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, so good work.
Thank you.
And a great vision to, you know, take drumming to the masses, you know, especially to, you know, like the 2 places I thought we could go drum on at the DI, and you know,
let's do it.
You know, they've got a big, like that big kitchen. We could.
We could rock that place for sure. We might need to get a little budget for broken sticks though, but because there's a lot of anger and a lot of stuff that needs to move through there. Yeah. It's like, have you worked in that space before?
Yeah.
The energy, you walk in, and you feel that energy, but you walk in that energy, and it's pretty, like, it's a beautiful thing what they do, but wow, to work in that, or to live in that, or try to find recovery in that, or try to find stability in that, just that vibration. So I would, when I'm imagining when we come in and that vibration is present, those drums will be breaking through a lot of shit.
I'm sure we can find a budget for that.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
Because I'm okay with broken sticks. Yeah. You know, I think because it'll get the job done. Yeah. You know, I'm not afraid of the drums can take a beating.
Yeah.
You know, and it's better to beat that drum than to beat yourself up or someone else.
Yeah. I can also just, I mean, I buy the drums directly from the guys that make them in Bali. We could organize something so it would make a big difference in your drum cost, I think.
Totally. Or even, you know,
maybe you have to come to Bali.
I'm in. I need a trip.
Totally a business trip.
Darn right, so we'll write it all off. I don't know if that is how it works, but I've never done a business trip to Bali, so I need to
I do it
out.
twice a year.
Yeah, you will do a course on that.
Yeah.
You should.
So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Love you, and I'm really happy that you're doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Love you too.
Thank you. Just 1 second, I'm going to tell these guys something. So you guys follow us on YouTube. Yeah, and do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, yeah.
Do you?
We'll put it on there too.
We'll link Julien's YouTube channel. It's going to be a lot of drumming on there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm building videos up and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff for our training too on there. So
nice. Yeah. And so people can like learn to drum on some of your YouTube.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's a big deal.
That's fun.
We'll put.
There's tons of stuff out there on YouTube too.
But you're the guy. You're local, and you've got a vision that's local, and you're doing. I think that we want. Of course, there's tons of stuff, but we're going with his stuff, and there's only your stuff.
I still need to build it up, so until I build it up.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're still going to show it. And if you like what we're doing with meditation spaces, we have these amazing kits. We're going to put a link on here for those too, and love it if if you're meditating or you feel that you'd like to meditate. There's a lot of I should meditate people. You know, they come in here often and I say, "Do you meditate?" Well, no, but I should. And we want to make it easy to help you create a space that calls you. I didn't mention it earlier, but these are pre-programmed to call you in the morning.
I love it.
Julien, come sit on me. So, and 3 minutes is better than nothing. So start meditating every day, even if it's only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes. Pretty soon, because they're actually, I tell people they're transportation vehicles.
Darn right.
These things will skyrocket you into the 4th dimension of reality. Well, actually, infinity and beyond.
A little Buzz Lightyear
Little
there.
Buzz, yeah.
My kids will watch this now. It's good.
Yeah, infinity and beyond. And but you have to sit on it, and it's magical. People come in and they go pretty comfortable, aren't they?
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm really into it. I like the design
And the people come in and they'll sit in and they'll go, "Oh my gosh, they're so comfortable." Anyway, so that's my pitch for our meditation stuff, and the other thing is that we're moving out of this. Well, I don't know what we're doing about the space, but we're letting go of the retail.
Yeah.
And so if you have been thinking, "Gee, I want to get a live edge table," when these guys are gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
And we're moving on to different things. We see us, traveling and showing people our meditation stools and going to events
beyond.
And beyond, yes, way beyond, and beyond the beyond.
Right.
Beyond the beyond. Whose song is that?
I don't know that one. That's our song as well. We're writing that one.
All right, love you guys a lot. And James is behind the camera, and he says he loves you too. And
he's a handsome guy.
Isn't he a handsome guy?
He should be up here.
Yeah. And okay, thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.